Welcome to Big Brander Podcast. My name is Dana, and this is the place where I'm going to share with you tips about social media, marketing, and how we as entrepreneur can build a strong online brand. And today I want to focus about content creation, but I want to touch the strategy side. So I would love to hear from you guys. If you're feeling that you may be struggling with your content creation, you may be feeling a bit lost, because if you do, this is where I'm going to help you to get some order into place. So first, the most important thing before you actually even decide on the strategy, it's first to understand who's the audience we're trying to reach out to. And for that, I do have an episode about part of the business foundation, which is to define your target audience. And from here, of course, you move to the part that you understand that what is your key message. And once you know what is your key message, which is what is your brand promise? What are you promising to deliver with your product and service? And basically, what is the problem that you're going to focus on? Because as I said before on my previous podcast, you want to focus on the problem and not on the solution. People don't like anymore those direct sales. People actually love to buy from people and buy from people they have a connection with, that they build relationship with, that they see that those people are actually understand them, they resonate with each other, they feel that they can trust them. And that's what you're trying to do with your content. You're really trying to create content that your audience will find as valuable, as insightful, as something that's really going to help them to overcome that problem, feel better with around that pain that they feel, or deal with the struggle that they have, the struggle, a challenge, and that's where you come in. So that's why it's very important, again, to go back to the part of making sure that you have a clear definition for your audience and your key message. Once you do, that's where you're now starting to decide which content strategy is the one that suits the best for my business, for me to actually package my message, my product, my service, and share it with my audience. And when you look at the different strategies, it's very important to understand that you can actually choose more than one strategy. So I'm going to share 4 strategies with you right now. You can choose whichever one you want, but I would recommend with some of them actually even to find a mix. But again, the mix needs to be that it needs to be in line with your key message and with your audience, and of course also what's right for you, for your personality. So I want to start with the first one. And as I said, like I spoke about creating that connection, because people buy from people that have a connection with. So the first strategy is personal connection, which means you're going to create content that the main focus of it will be for them to build and create a connection with you. So it can be you sharing your story, you sharing why you do what you do, you presenting things from a personal perspective, you sharing maybe how you dealt with the problem, how the problem found you, what helped you to deal with this. You can speak on the challenge, but from your point of view, and you really use it to get them to understand that there is a person behind that brand, and that person actually see them, and that person actually understand what they're going through. And because once you build a connection with your audience, you build a relationship with them. By building a relationship, you're gaining their trust. By gaining their trust, they're going to be loyal to your brand and your best brand ambassadors. And that is how you can build a strong online brand that's going to stay here for the long run. So that's the one type of strategy. The second type that you can also actually link to this one is the inspirational and motivational, which means that here you're creating content that it's all about inspiring and motivating your followers, which is your audience. So it can be by sharing quotes, different sayings, different stories, and this is where the part that you can actually link it to the other strategy, the first strategy I spoke about, which is the personal connection. Okay, so you can share a personal story from your side and use it to inspire and motivate your audience. That can actually be also for any type of business, like for example, coaching. So as a coach, you say, all I want to do is just share quotes all the time. And through those quotes, I'll motivate my audience. That can be one thing. You can, for example, even do like from fitness, right? You want to use and share different stories from the different trainers you have and how they succeeded, or even the dietitian, Like, for example, if you want to encourage people as a dietitian to get them to lose the weight and you want to share different stories, that's the one way as well to do it. And that's that type of a strategy. So as I said, if I'll repeat the first two, it was personal connection, and second one is inspirational and motivational one. The third strategy is called the educational one, which means that this is the part where you want to position yourself as an expert, in what you do, in your industry. You want them to see you and for you to become their go-to person. And I'll say, some will say even, I know some don't like that word, but even to become their guru, the person that knows everything around that topic, about that specific problem, challenge, struggle. And that you do by sharing educational tips, tutorials, all type of like even like demonstration of things that you do, different hacks, different tricks, all type of content that they will find as something that is educating them. Okay, and that's of course not necessarily for all type of business. Because if you, for example, are selling a product in a shop that is just like, let's say, toys, and you feel there is not much to educate, so you don't really want to use that strategy, okay? And maybe inspiration is not necessarily the right thing for you, but the personal connection, maybe sharing, like, for example, the people that bought those toys and those like games and how they use it. That can be, for example. And that's why it's very important to understand that you can choose more than one strategy, but you need to make sure that you're choosing the right strategy. So I'm going to go to strategy number 4, which is lead generation. Lead generation means that that's the place where you share content, that's the purpose of it, to help you gain more leads, to help you get more sales. Okay, to sell more of your products, more of your service, increase your database, for example. So it can be that you, for example, promoting a new product you just launched. It can be type of content that you are sharing different freebies that once people download them, they can sign up to your email list, and that's how you're growing your database. So it can be different type of content like this. My recommendation is not to stay just with the strategy only. So as a business, you cannot count just on the lead generation one. My personal beliefs is that it cannot be a standalone strategy. It needs to be in line with something else. So if you're trying to give me a freebie so I can download it, you need to either link it to the educational one. So teach me something that's why I want to download it, and that's how you're going to get my email address. Or maybe it can be a personal connection that you're sharing about a certain product, how it helped you, and through that you are getting the sales. But people don't like direct sales. If in the past we were okay with this, if you remember back even in the 50s, 60s, when people were knocking on your door and then offering you like buy my vacuum cleaner or buy this beauty products, it doesn't work anymore. When you get a direct message on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, you automatically ignore it, right? I would love to hear from you in the comments as well. Like, what do you think about this? But that's what happens. So that's why you don't want to have it as a standalone. Link it to another strategy. So if I'm repeating the different strategy, so we had the personal connection, we had the inspirational and motivational one, we had the educational one, and we had the lead generation. So those are 4 strategies. Make sure that you're choosing the most relevant one for your business. And as I said, you can mix. So for example, for my business, I'm actually mixing all 4 of them because I am sharing certain stories about my success and how my journey as an entrepreneur helped me, because I built my brand from scratch, not in my home country and not in my home language. So I am sharing that from the side of the personal connection as well. I'm sharing different quotes and different things like that from my story to actually motivate others. Because if I was doing it, you can do it. If it took me two weeks to convince myself to create my first video because I hated the camera and now I'm doing it in my sleep, that's a motivational one, but I'm still linking it to a personal connection. I'm as well sharing lots of tips. And by the way, you're more than welcome to follow me on the different platforms. So just search for Big Consulting. Also adding links here as well in the description. But I will share lots of different tips on social media platform, brand building and everything, communities management and stuff like this. But I do have as well lead generations, which is when I promote a new course, when I have all my freebies that I have and get to people. And that works for my business. But the question is what's going to work for your business. So ask yourself. So if I'll repeat it one last time, you can either choose the personal connection, inspirational, motivational, educational, lead generation, or just a mix of the 2, the 3, the 4, you name it. But as I said, don't choose lead generation as a standalone. So I hope you find this podcast episode insightful. Would love to hear from you. Any feedback, if you have any topics that you want me to share more tips and tricks about, let me know. And hope you follow my stuff for more interesting episodes to come.